Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are looking at a massive, and I mean absolutely massive, paradigm shift in how we actually value what we know. We're talking about Codatta and their core premise, monetizing knowledge for the AI economy. You see, we're finally moving out of that era where our human knowledge is just freely scraped from the internet to train these giant models. Instead, we're entering an era where that knowledge becomes a formalized structural economy. For anyone navigating the rapidly expanding, decentralized world of AI, the mechanics we're unpacking today, they're going to completely reframe how you view your own personal expertise.
So think about this for a second. What if the AI economy actually paid you for what you know? Right? Because for the last few decades, let's be honest, we've just been freely giving away our thoughts, our expertise, our data. Big tech companies have totally capitalized on this. They've built these incredibly capable large language models entirely on the back of our collective human understanding. But imagine if that dynamic flipped. What if your personal understanding wasn't just some anonymous drop in a giant ocean of free training data, but instead it was a recognized individual contribution with direct personal upside? Keep that exact question in the back of your mind as we go, because that is the exact problem Codatta is looking to solve.
And that brings us right to the foundational text of Codatta. Their absolute core thesis is this: knowledge layer for AI. Your knowledge, your data asset, endless AI royalties. Now, I know it's just one single sentence, but within it is quite literally a complete blueprint for an entirely new digital economy. It's so incredibly dense with meaning that we're definitely not just going to skim over it. We are going to meticulously deconstruct this profound phrase piece by piece so we can really grasp the nuts and bolts of how human knowledge is being transformed into a tangible, tradable asset. Section 1. The AI economy.
So, when we say monetizing knowledge, what we really mean is transforming abstract human understanding into concrete economic value. In the traditional economy, you monetized your labor, your physical time, or maybe physical goods. But Codatta is doing something different. They're commodifying expertise natively for the AI ecosystem itself. As large language models rapidly consume all the internet's existing information, they're actually facing a looming scarcity of high-quality training data. Because of that, specialized human context becomes an incredibly valuable commodity. It's all about taking that nuanced, specialized context you hold right there in your brain and turning it into real, quantifiable economic value.
Section 2. The knowledge layer.
Okay, so what actually is a knowledge layer? Well, we often tend to think of AI as just these complex algorithms or massive server farms computing at literal light speed. But an algorithm without high-quality information? It's kind of like a high-performance sports car with absolutely no fuel in the tank. The knowledge layer is that fuel. It's the foundational infrastructure. It's this organized, structured bedrock of facts, context, and reasoning that artificial intelligence absolutely relies on to generate answers, make decisions, or, create content. Without a robust, constantly updating knowledge layer, AI simply cannot function, let alone improve.
And here is the really vital distinction. AI relies entirely on a foundational layer of human knowledge. This layer is not just cold, machine-generated code just talking to itself in a void. It is actively fueled by real human understanding. Every insightful response, every single correct logical deduction an AI makes, is ultimately derived from human intelligence that has been carefully captured, structured, and queried. Codatta's decentralized model basically recognizes that humans are the essential, completely irreplaceable battery pack for this entire technological revolution.
Section 3. Your data asset. Now, I want you to notice the transformation happening here. On one side, your knowledge is undeniably valuable, but it's abstract, right? It just lives up in your head. You can't exactly deposit it in a bank, and unless you're going to write a book or go on a lecture tour, it's incredibly hard to scale. But look at the other side. When it becomes your data asset, it suddenly becomes tangible. Through Codatta, your abstract knowledge is actually captured, mathematically structured, and literally converted into a concrete asset. It becomes a distinct tokenized entity that you own, something that can be verified, tracked, and consistently utilized by the AI economy. It's a real game changer.
And this really forms an exact mini-narrative of empowerment embedded right there in that core sentence we looked at earlier. Step 1 begins with what you know, your knowledge. Step 2 formalizes it. It becomes your data asset. And then step 3, that puts that asset to work for you, generating endless AI royalties. It's a very clear, highly logical progression from holding information in your mind to reaping the sustained financial benefits of that exact information out in the digital world. It's basically a structured pipeline of personal monetization.
Section 4. Endless AI royalties.
Let's just pause and consider the sheer magnitude of the word endless. We aren't talking about a one-time payout here.
It is definitely not a flat fee where they just scrape your data, train a model once, and say goodbye. Because AI systems continuously query these decentralized nodes in the knowledge layer to generate real-time, accurate responses, the value of your data asset is entirely persistent. It's a recurring, continuous compensation model, and it's specifically designed to reward you every single time your specific expertise bridges a gap in the AI's understanding.
The best way to think about this is like how a musician earns royalties. They record a song once, that recording is their asset. But every single time that song is played on the radio or streamed online, they receive a fraction of a cent. Codatta is proposing the exact same mechanism, but for your expertise. When the AI economy reaches into the knowledge layer and utilizes the specific data asset you provided to formulate a response, or maybe verify a fact, or solve a complex problem, you get paid. It's an ongoing financial payoff for a continuous, verified contribution to the network.
So tying this entire conceptual arc back together for us, we started by looking at the massive scale of the AI economy. Then, we identified the absolutely critical infrastructure it requires to function. That's the knowledge layer. From there, we saw how you actively participate by converting your mind's abstract thoughts into your data asset. And finally, we explored the recurring financial reward of endless AI royalties. Put it all together, and this represents the complete, cyclical engine of monetizing knowledge.
Which really leaves us with this final, crucial thought to end our explainer today. Is your knowledge ready for the AI economy? Look, we are moving incredibly fast past the days of just providing our expertise for free. The infrastructure is actively being built right now as we speak to track, value, and compensate human understanding at a very granular level. The paradigm has officially shifted, so the only question remaining is how you will adapt your own expertise to become a high-value asset in this brand new digital landscape. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this helps structure your understanding of exactly where the knowledge economy is heading next.